Hey everyone, welcome to Sir Inc.'s The Experience Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. We only cater to adults 18 and above, so remember this podcast is not safe for work, or as we like to say, NSF.
Remember, you can always listen to us or watch us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kink-curious folk out there. My name is Sir Inc. And on this vlogcast / podcast, right, we are going to discuss names, titling. And what do I mean by names and titling? You know, a listener emailed me and said, listen, I love your content, but I want to hear more about pet names. What are names or what are things that doms like to hear or like being said to them? And so, first of all, let me start this by saying that is specific to a dom. However, there are very common ones. Sir, master, daddy, things of that nature, right? And so when you first meet someone, a dom, some doms require you call them sir from the beginning. Other doms do not expect you to call them sir unless they're your dom. And so someone like myself, you don't necessarily have to call me sir from the beginning. Now, for a lot of women, a lot of submissives, them saying sir is just a term of endearment. It's just a sign of respect, which I appreciate that as well. But for me, we can start off on a friendship level. You can just call me all, and we can just go from there. And then when we move into something a little bit deeper, then we can get into calling me sir, and things of that nature. I'm more of a sir than I am a daddy dom or a master. So I prefer to be called sir. It's a great term of endearment. I do have one friend, she likes to call me her lord. So some people have different terms of endearment. It's how they see you. And then I'll ask you, do you mind if I don't call you, like this young lady asked me, do you not mind if I call you sir and I call you my lord? And I said, that's not a problem. That's fine. But you have to understand that these things are specific to a person. So again, when it comes to terms of endearment, things of that nature, yes, more common is sir, daddy, master. And when it comes to things deeper than that, that is set up by the dominant. So for instance, when we're out, you know, I may like to be called sir in certain instances. You know, when we go to a restaurant, I may have my submissive order for me, and she'll say, well, sir is having this, or sir is having that drink, things of that nature. And it's funny because the waitress will address me as sir as well. So that's really cool. But when it comes to other things that like dominants want to hear, like a dominant may go from like, don't call me just sir or master, call me your sir, your master. So she'll respond with my sir, my master, I'm yours, you own me, things of that nature. These are things that are said amongst the power exchange dynamic. And it's important to have these phrases because it keeps everyone in their role, so to say, right? So it keeps a submissive understanding that she is giving herself to that dominant, and it keeps a dominant in the mind frame of having a possession and being responsible for someone else. So this is the importance of those things. And then we have like silent communication, right? Where you develop this with a submissive, you teach her sign language, and well, hand signals, not sign language, but hand signals, which can look a little bit like sign language. You know, everyone has their own, like there's very common ones that's on, you can look them up on Google. I'll probably post one in this video. But you know, you have things like this. This could mean down to the floor on your knees. this can mean something different. Certain gestures with your eyes, if you look down to the floor, will signal for her to drop to her knees. Whatever specific to you. And I think that this is what I like about this lifestyle, is that you should craft your own hand signals. You should craft your own terms of endearment. You should set all those things up specifically for you and her. And the thing is, let's say, for example, a dominant man has more than one submissive. Well, each submissive can have a different way that they communicate with that dominant based upon what her submission is, right? Like, if you have more of a slave may address you more differently than just, let's just say, a basic submissive, or a switch, or, and I think I've discussed this a little bit in my podcast with Slave Draconia, who is the head madam of their house. So her terms of endearment to her master is different than the terms of endearment of the other subs, and different than the other subs to her, because she's the head. She controls the rest of the household, so they address her differently than they address him. So there's a hierarchy within this as well, and it's important for people to understand that. It's important for people to not only understand that, and then there's always the conversation of, well, how do we live the lifestyle in front of other people that it's not necessarily that they may not agree with our lifestyle, but you don't want them in your lifestyle. You don't want them in your business. So, for example, if you're around family or co-workers, or at a function, a business function, something of that nature, there's always other terms of endearment or other phrases or other things that you can say that can supplement in a moment but still be in the lifestyle. Sir is more common, even though if you're around some people and you say, hello, sir, or sir, would you like me to, and someone may look at you like, wow, you address him as sir. You can always say, yeah, well, that's just what we do. Just like if a woman calls her man daddy. I think daddy's just more common. Like, hey, daddy, daddy, do you want something? I think that's a little more common for people, so they eat that up like easy. But if you was to say master, that'd be like, ooh, you call him master. Like, oh my goodness. Like, what is that about? Stuff like that. Which is rather petty because people like being in your damn business. But it's human nature. But so there's all kinds of things. And again, these terms of endearment, these phrases, these hand signals, all these things are particular to the person and that dynamic. And those things are things that should be worked on over time, starting with the dominant, about how he wants to be addressed in different ways, in different situations, and making sure that the submissive stays to him. And in reverse, when she sticks to him, that also allows him to stick to him as well. Because let's be honest, life can get a little hectic. A lot of things is going on in life, family, children, business. Sometimes you get a little winded with life, and you can fall a little lazy, or you can overlook some things like terms of endearment, certain protocols, things of that nature. So these things are subtle reminders of, hey, sir, hey, master. These are things that keep everyone in the swag, everyone in their role 24/7. Just constant reminders. So that's all I have on this one. Maybe I can get another submissive to do a podcast with me, and we can discuss a little further from their end, so we can understand like what submissives are feeling and how they like to carry terms of endearments, certain gestures, physical gestures when you're out, or just being on the same page with the dominant, whether it be verbal, physical, or silent communication. So you guys know how to get at me. I am Sir INQ on everything. Facebook, Instagram. Check me out at kingspace.net, where we're building our community. And Dirty Right Makeup is coming back. So thank you for listening. Until next time.
That was quite an experience, wasn't it? Tune in again for a fresh release of Sir Ink's The Experience podcast.